I bet when you were planning to bring home your new puppy, you were thinking about all the wonderful things that come along with puppy ownership. Popcorn! When you finally did get to bring your new puppy home, you probably realized there's a lot more to it than that. Popcorn! In today's video, we are going to talk about puppy socialization, and we're going to teach you two skills that are really, really important, and one more skill that nobody ever talks about that will make all the difference when it comes to your dog's manners out on the street. I'm Instructor Shannon. This is Popcorn. Welcome back to McCann Dogs. One of the most important skills that you will ever have with your dog when it comes to socialization is being able to get their attention back on you when there is something out there in the environment. So we place response to name training as a really, really important piece of the puzzle here to make sure that when we send our pups off to go and socialize, or when they're in situations where they're socializing through observation and watching things go on, we can still get their attention back on us quickly and instantly, and we can get in lots of reinforcement, lots of value built for them turning quickly back towards us when we call their name. A lot of times people are really surprised to learn that they actually need to spend some time teaching their dogs their name. Dogs don't really understand what a name is all about. So I'm going to take 4 steps to teach my puppy Popcorn to turn on his name nice and quickly, and that it's a really valuable thing to do. So all I'm going to do for step 1 is load up my puppy's name. So I'm going to say Popcorn, and then feed him a really delicious treat. Popcorn, and then reward. Whoops, you dropped it, buddy. Where'd it go? Somewhere there. Good boy. Popcorn. Popcorn. Good. So all Popcorn is learning here is that hearing that word popcorn means really great things are about to come. It's a little bit of a predictor of the wonderful cheese that I'm using for training treats here. Step 2 of teaching my puppy to respond to his name well before I get into socialization with him is going to be when he's a little bit distracted from me. Now, I'm not going to test my puppy. I don't want to call his name because he doesn't know what his name is right now. I don't want to call his name and expect him to turn on that because chances are he'll make a mistake right now, and I don't want that to happen. I want him to be successful almost every single time right now as much as possible. So what I'm going to do is wait until he's got a little bit of a distraction going on. What's this over here? What is that? And when he's sniffing, I'm going to get my food ready. I'm going to say his name, Popcorn. Show him some, whoop! Show him some treat. This is hard, buddy. Woo! Try again. Popcorn. Yay! So you see how quickly that can go wrong with distractions in the area, which is exactly why I am helping my puppy get it right every single time right now. So I'll do one more here. Popcorn. Yes, good for you, buddy. That's so smart. I'm actually going to give him 2 or 3 treats because those are hard distractions for him right now over there, and I want to make sure he gets it right. So as you can see, Popcorn is doing great. He is learning so well, but clearly there's some challenge in terms of distraction for him, which is exactly why I want to make sure that I get a lot of practice in with his response to name with distractions like this, rather than waiting until he's out there socializing and playing with another puppy. At that point, expecting him to respond to his name, if he's having trouble responding to his name with simple distractions in the home, I'm going to be setting myself and my puppy up for a really hard time. So I need to make sure that I spend a lot of time helping him learn how to respond to his name so that when I do get to the point where I'm telling him to go and play with another puppy, I have a chance of getting him to turn back to me when I need to stop that play or when I want to call him back to me. Now, my 3rd step in response to name training before I let my puppy go and socialize is that I want to make sure I bridge the gap between the less distractions inside and more distractions outside. There's going to be lots of different smells outdoors. There's going to be lots of different sights and noises. And if I expect my puppy to be able to listen in an outdoor environment, I need to take some time to do some training in that outdoor environment as well. So I've got my cheese ready. My puppy is clearly distracted. I'm still going to set him up for success. I'm going to say his name and then 1 second later, help him with that food and a quick turn. Okay. Popcorn. Yes, good boy. So there's no room for failure for him. He is bound to be successful every single time, because if he's too distracted, doesn't start to turn, I'm already on my way in with the food to put on his nose to make sure I get a good turn. Okay, popcorn. Yes, good boy. That's a very good boy. You like that cheese, don't you? Good job. I'm gonna let him know he's just a great dog for turning so quickly. He got a couple of nice little pieces of cheese there, and we're just having a good time, enjoying some play and enjoying some learning. Now, if you're thinking, my puppy's really not that food motivated, you might want to use a toy instead of the food, or in addition to the food. If you have a puppy that really likes toys, it can be a great way of building a lot more value for exercises like response to name. So my puppy's distracted here. Okay, popcorn. I'm gonna show him the toy, back away, let him chase, and then when he chases me, he's gonna get to have a little play. And the nice side thing about this is that I can also work on manners. As we're playing tug, I can work on out, and helping my puppy drop that toy. Now he's a little reluctant here. He wants the toy more than the food, so I'm just gonna help him. No big deal. I helped him realize that that food was just as exciting by continuing to persevere with it. And what I'm gonna do with my toy training is make sure that he realizes the toy needs to have manners surrounding it, and that's gonna be all part of our lessons as well as Popcorn learns and grows. Now, step 4 of this response to name training will be with a much better trained puppy. Now, I want to show you the steps of training response to name, and I want to show you what step 4 looks like. It is a test with the puppy. However, I know full well that my puppy Popcorn is not ready for this test yet. So while I might get lucky, I probably won't, and I'm going to show you what you need to do if your test fails and your puppy has a little bit of a hard time with it. It's really, really important that if I call my puppy's name and I don't get a response, I don't keep calling. The last thing I would want to do is teach my puppy that it's okay to ignore his name. I want him to know that if he ignores his name, he's missing out on some really amazing opportunities. So my friend Dan here is distracting my puppy Popcorn. I'm still going to be nice and close, because if I need to fix, and I predict that I might, if I need to fix, I need to make sure that I'm nice and close and my timing is good with my puppy. So I'm gonna try here a little test. If Popcorn gets it right, Dan's gonna let go. I'm going to back away, reward several times, and let Popcorn know that he is just an amazing little man. All right, little distraction. Popcorn! Yes, what a good boy! Oh, Popcorn! Yay! Oops! What's going on there? No more cheese? You okay? It's a buddy. You want the toy instead? All right, so my puppy has, found poo. There is an interesting distraction with poo, and hey, that's part of life. So what I'm gonna do here, I don't want my puppy messing around with that poo, but I'm gonna try this test again because I really didn't get the result that I wanted. I sort of had a bit of a puppy, but he really wasn't that interested in the food I had. So I'm gonna try this test again. I've got my toy this time because I know Popcorn really likes toys, and that poo over there is a little bit of a distraction that's too much. So I'm actually gonna angle out this way to make my puppy's life easier. This is so important. Being able to adjust in the moment when your puppy is struggling, it's absolutely crucial for continuing to build these skills. So Popcorn's a little distracted. I'm gonna come in nice and close because I know he had a hard time. Popcorn, yeah, good boy. Back away, let him play with that toy. That's a good boy. Yee! Obviously, he is motivated by the toy a little bit more than the food, and that is absolutely great. I'm gonna use that to my advantage to let him know that great things happen when he responds to his name. Good job, buddy, good for you. Wow, you can see how much Popcorn loves this fuzzy ball tug. If you want to get one of your very own, check out the link in the description to mccandogs.store. So as you can see, there were varying levels of distractions that I worked with my puppy Popcorn today, and I want to be really careful with testing. Normally, I would not have tested a puppy in this stage, but we wanted to get through all the steps in the video. I want to test my puppy once I am 99% sure that he's going to get it right. If I have more doubt than that, then I'm going to wait on my test to make make sure that my puppy learns to be successful rather than rehearsing doing the wrong thing. Now, we did some great practicing with response to name with Popcorn, and his response to name was coming along really nicely out there. But you might have noticed that something called the drive-through was also making progress. And we call the drive-through when the dog comes in, gets the reward for doing a good job, and then checks back out again to go and take in that distraction. So we're going to start to solve that problem right now by working on taking a hold of our puppy's collar. So I'm going to use my response to name to get his attention and draw him in nice and close to me. And then I'm going to have several little pieces of cheese held back in my hand so that as he's hanging in with me, I can reach under the chin, take a hold of his collar, and I can let him get used to the idea that giving me calm control and calm attention is a really, really positive thing as well. And this is what's going to help him focus on me when there's options for playing with other dogs and socializing with other dogs. And instead of wanting to run off and run and play with those dogs, I'm gonna have my puppy focused on me until I give him permission by letting go of the collar and telling him to go play. So what I'm gonna do, a little bit of a distraction perhaps to start. Okay, over there. Call his name, Popcorn. Turn him back towards me, and as he's nibbling that treat, I'm gonna reach under, take a hold of his collar. I'm not gonna make it a secret. I'm letting him know I have control. I'm rubbing his neck. I'm putting my whole hand or as much as I can in that collar as I'm rewarding him and letting him know that he is an absolutely wonderful little puppy for hanging in with me. Now, here is the step that is perhaps the most important thing that I will ever establish with my puppy when it comes to allowing them to socialize. And that is clear permission to go play or go say hi or go and investigate that thing. A lot of times what people do is they let their dogs dictate when they're going to go and say hello to another dog by allowing them to pull them over to that dog, which basically leaves the puppy with the impression that all other dogs or all other distractions are within their available reach. What we want to do with our puppies is have them use the default of leaving distractions alone, knowing that distractions like that toy, for example, are not necessarily going to be available to them until you have given them permission to go and play. And that just sets up our training a little bit nicer. So I'm gonna put this whole thing together here so that I can show you the release that I use when my puppy is ready to go and investigate a distraction or when I'm giving him permission to go and play and socialize with another puppy. So I'm gonna let him go and investigate that toy so I can do first my response to name, Popcorn. Yay, good boy. I'm gonna back away, reach under, take his collar. Oh, you are so smart. What a good dog. I'm gonna take my time, making sure he doesn't turn this into a drive-through. Good boy. Good job. I fed him 2 or 3 little pieces of cheese, and then when I'm ready, I'm gonna tell him, okay, go get the toy. Yay, good job. And then we can have a little bit of a play together in a party, but I want my dog to understand that it's not an option for him until he clearly has permission to go and seek out those distractions. Socialization can be a very confusing topic. Did you know that the way you socialize your puppy can make a big difference in how they view you as a leader? If you'd like to know more, click this card. Socialization is just one small piece of the puppy training puzzle. If you would like some personalized support for your puppy training, check out the link to our Puppy Essentials program in the description below and come and work with the McCann dog trainers, learn all about the McCann method. On that note, I'm Shannon. This is Popcorn. Happy training.